हरे कृष्ण। ओमज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। Hare Krishna. So we'll continue our discussion. This section of Bhagavatam, the Sukta prayers confirm. This is the realization a person gets when he is practicing bhakti. The first realization a person gets. There are different levels of practices people do, and everybody has to go through it. Type of they should get this Brahman realization first, and then they should get the Paramatma realization and Bhagavan realization. Just 24th shloka. We'll just read the translation of few shlokas. This is about how the form of the Lord is. This is also very important, the Virat Rupa. How is nicely explained according to the Bhagavatam also. And Virat Rupa is also very beautiful form, very nice description. But we will not appreciate. There are some people who can appreciate it because they have their rasa. Just read the translation. The spiritual world, which consists of three-fourths of Lord's energy, is situated beyond this material world, and it is especially meant for those who will never be reborn. Others who are attached to family life and who do not strictly follow celibacy vows must live within the three material worlds. So we discussed this yesterday. This is very important purport. And then next translation, now we discuss that how the unlimited of one third of unlimited is also unlimited only. One fourth of unlimited is also unlimited. But unlimited can enter into Supreme Lord and can remain without any, it just can compress and it can become unlimited. So it is not within our logic. By his energies, the all-pervading personality of God is thus comprehensively the master in the activities of controlling and in devotional service. He is the ultimate master of both nescience and factual knowledge of all situations. And then we discussed this yesterday. From that personality of God are generated all the universal globes and universal form with all material elements, qualities, and senses. It is aloof from such material manifestation, just as the sun is separate from its rays and heat. Now, Lord is always full, he is always 100. That means he is limited. No, but he expands. That is the speciality of Lord. So if you say, is Lord complete? Yes, he is complete. That means there should be a limit to it. Complete means, okay, there should be 100. 100 is the limit. But Lord is 100, but still he expands. That is the speciality of Lord. He is Purnam, but he is also expanding also. That's how when he comes in front of Radha, now when you say Lord's beauty is completely perfect, but when he comes in front of Srimati Radharani, his beauty increases. And Radharani's love is also complete, perfect. But when she comes in front of Krishna, her beauty increases. So that is how and that is how the Lord is. And next local art, yesterday what we discussed is, when I was born from the abdominal lotus flower of Lord Mahavishnu, the great person, I had no ingredients for sacrificial performance except the body limbs of the great personality of Godhead. This was the topic of discussion. Please hear. Why sacrifice is important. We discussed a little bit, but what is important is the act of sacrifice is what is recommended in the Vedic scriptures. The second chapter, third chapter, everything starts with this point only, that we need to learn to sacrifice if you want to enjoy anything. Any demigod worship also, why they get benefited? Because they have sacrificed it. Of course, demigods, they will prepone, postpone karma, but apart from that, they get benefited because they have done some sacrifice. Any sacrifice. Even people are doing some material sacrifice, like say they are fasted for getting a state in, they did some political austerities they do. They walk whole of the country, they do fasting and what do you call, fasting till death if their desires are not fulfilled. Even if they do that also, they will gain power. That is the point here. Even materially also, if people are doing, they can gain power. This is the speciality. And for performing sacrificial ceremonies, one requires sacrificial ingredients such as flowers, leaves, straw, along with sacrificial altar and suitable time. If we do any sacrifice, like now what we are doing, we are sacrificing our time. If we are doing it, that means in this time we should not do it for enjoying. We should do it for attaining something. And then they will get pleasures, and then they enjoy and enjoy their pleasures. Then what is happening? Their credits are going down. So two things people have. One is they're working to gain something, and once they gain, they want to enjoy it. This is the system of this material world. All the shastras, they preach like this only. You do something to get this, do this to get this, do this to get this. And that's how the system is. Now we are also doing something, but we want to get not from this world, we want to get from spiritual world. But sacrifice is no, what you call, we cannot avoid it. It is compulsory. That is the point. Just a second. Without sacrifice, there is no enjoyment. Even if students are studying, now what happens is, if his intelligence is not so much, but he worked very hard. Now will he get the result or not? Somebody will not answer this question. That this fellow didn't work, he worked very hard, but it is not in his credit. He don't have good karma. Will he get benefit or not? Anybody want to try? Okay. Then we will get answer later. We'll read the purports. Our requirements are utensils, grains. So here Brahmaji is telling, for performing sacrificial ceremony, one requires sacrificial ingredients such as flowers, leaves, and straw, along with the sacrificial altar and a suitable time. So, and then he says, Vastunyaushadha sneha rasa loha mrudo jalam rocha yajumisamani chaturhotram cha sattama. Other requirements are utensils, grains, clarified butter, honey, gold, earth, water, the Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, and Sama Veda, the four priests to perform the sacrifice. Here Atharva is not there. Sometimes there are only three. This is, you can remember this nice information by Prabhupada. To perform a sacrifice successfully, at least four expert priests are needed. One who can offer, he is called Hota, he is offering. One who can chant, he is Udgata, he is a chanter. And one who kindles the sacrificial fire without the aid of separate fire, Adharyu. By chanting the mantra, he can ignite the fire, or with Arani sticks he can, is Adharyu. And one who can supervise, he is Brahma. Hota Udgata, Advaryu, and Brahma. You can remember this. One is the person who is offering, one who is chanting, one who is igniting fire, and one is overseeing. Such sacrifices are conducted from the birth of Brahma, the first living being, and were carried out until the region of Maharaj Yudhishthira. But such expert Brahmana priests are very rare in the age of corruption and quarrel, and therefore in the present age only the yajna of chanting the holy name of Lord is recommended. This is a very nice thing. नामधेयानि मन्त्राश्च दक्षिणाश्च वर्तानि च देवतूनु क्रम कल्प संकल्पस्तंत्रमेव च. Other necessities include invoking the different names of demigods by specific hymns and vows of recompense in accordance with the particular scriptures for specific purpose and specific process. But the demigods' names are also there because they are taking care of these different departments. They also need to be addressed. And very nice. What all things are needed? See different names of demigods. We have to chant according to them, and vows of recompense in accordance with particular scriptures for specific purpose. Say if I am want to get nice progeny, then I had to do according to the particular scripture, the vows, and then specific purpose and specific process. Everything is very, very particular. Now, nowadays they do same thing for all things. The Narsimha Yajna, Bhagavad Gita Yajna, Bhagavatam Yajna, we also do. But it is not like that. They are very, very specific. For us, only one Yajna, Sankirtana Yajna. All these other rituals, they are not of much importance for us. For us, what is important is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Just this is sufficient. No other thing is needed. If we can peacefully sit and chant and hear the holy name, take shelter of the holy name, everything is achieved. That's all. It's so simple. You can achieve everything just by sitting, peacefully hearing the holy name, getting absorbed in the holy name, taking shelter of the holy name. Finish. Life is perfect. The whole process of offering sacrifice is under the category of fruitive action, and such activities are extremely scientific. See, Prabhupada is telling it is a scientific process. They mainly depend on the process of vibrating sounds with a particular accent. It is a great science, but due to being out of proper use for more than 4,000 years, for want of qualified brahmanas, such performances of sacrifice are no longer effective. Prabhupada is telling, these yajnas don't work only. Nor they are recommended in this fallen age. Any such sacrifice undertaken in this age as a matter of show is simply a cheating process by the clever priestly order. Prabhupada is so heavy. It's all cheating. All the sacrifices are only cheating. But such a show of sacrifice cannot be effective at any stage. See, fruitive action is being carried out with the help of gross material science. But the materialistic await still more subtle advancement in the process of vibrating sound on which the Vedic hymns are established. Gross material science cannot help one fulfill the real purpose of human life. It can only increase the artificial need of life without any solution to the problems of life. Therefore, Deva of materialistic life leads to wrong type of human civilization. Wow, such a nice thing Prabhupada is explaining. The way of materialistic life leads to wrong type of human civilization. Since the ultimate aim of life is spiritual realization, the direct way of invoking the holy name of Lord, as mentioned above, is precisely recommended by Lord Chaitanya, and the people of modern age can easily take advantage of this simple process which is tangible for the condition of the complicated social structure. Because if we carry out fruitive activities, so this is what fruitive actions is being carried out with the help of gross material science. They are not using even subtle material science also. The performance of sacrifice, yajna, that is the science that should be utilized to enjoy materially. But they are what they are doing, they are using gross material science. But the materialistic await a still more subtle advancement in the process of vibrating sound on which the Vedic hymns are established. So this is how the previously people used to enjoy by material sound. Gross material science cannot help one fulfill real purpose of life. It can only increase the artificial needs of life without any solutions to problem. So even materially also, it is present situation is very dangerous. This is the point. Very nice purport. Prabhupada is telling, even if you want to enjoy in a Vedic style. But presently you cannot enjoy in Vedic style because that is not available. Better you chant Hare Krishna. And it says, the question is how to control mind while chanting holy name. Everybody has this problem. I also have problem. But the solution is the when we hear nicely the Siddhanta, that will help us to focus on holy. First thing. Second is in the association with chant. Third thing is if you are chanting in the holy dham, in the Vandham ki jai. In Kartik again, I am planning to go to Vrindavan by mercy of Radharani. The advantage is what? Then our chanting will improve. Definitely it improves. Three things. We have to hear nicely, we have to chant with devotees, and we have to chant in them. Then it is easy to focus. At least one should be there. If in the home, you may not have devotees, we are not in Dham. But if you have heard nicely, and second, very important, where the problem in his concentration comes when there is a doership mentality. That affects our chanting so much, very bad. Very badly it affects. If you have this doership mentality. Ahankar vimudhatma karta hamit manyate. Because exactly opposite to Trinadapi Sinichena. Trinadapi Sinichena is the formula for chanting. And when we are Ahankar vimudhatma, have this pride, then it is exactly opposite. Of course, all anarthas, even somebody has envy, he cannot focus. If he is jealous, he cannot focus. If he is so much lust, he cannot focus. But some things are very, very dangerous. We have to work on, we cannot work on chanting on at that time of chanting. We have to work on chanting whole day. And if you have heard nicely that day and you have given up the doership mentality, it's not me, then it is easy to focus. The other distractions, mind distracts because of lust, because of envy. We have to work on them slowly, slowly. It will help. But morning, if you have heard nicely philosophy, then we can chant nicely out. Like say you want to chant from 4 to 6. You can hear for 10 minutes in the before chanting any lecture. Like before we like wake up, you are brushing and doing other things before you start chanting. That time, as soon as you wake up in the bed, you start hearing some lecture. When you hear the lecture, even the 10 minutes time before you start your chanting, 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever time you take to prepare your chanting, before from waking up to chanting time, even that time when we hear some lecture, very, very pure philosophy, that will help us to focus on chanting. We understand, yes, yes, yes. I don't need any of these things. I just need Krishna in my life. Our consciousness becomes set. Then to focus becomes easy. And if you are doing in daytime, you don't have morning time, you are doing daytime, you are chanting. That time also, because you have heard in the morning, we already have classes. That will also help if you are meditating on it properly. That will help us to control our mind. It's a process. It happens for everyone. गतयो मतयश्चैव प्रायश्चित्तं समर्पणं पुरुषावयवैर्येते संभारा संभृता मया. Thus, I had to arrange all these necessary ingredients and paraphernalia of sacrifice from the personal bodily parts of the personality of Godhead. By invocation of the demigod's name, the ultimate goal, Vishnu, was gradually attained, and thus compensation and ultimate offering were completed. Wow, Brahma is telling such a nice thing. He's telling, with the help of Lord only, he performed everything. No need of separately going here, there, everywhere. Brahma did a shortcut. We also are shortcut only. We just chant Hare Krishna. All the sacrifices are taken care. In this verse, special stress is given to the person of the Supreme Lord and not to his impersonal Brahma Jyoti as being the source of all supplies. Narayana, the Supreme Lord, is the goal of sacrificial rituals, and therefore the Vedic things are ultimately meant for attaining that this goal. Human life is thus made successful by pleasing Narayana and getting entrance into the direct association of Narayana in the spiritual kingdom of Vaikuntha. Now, many times, Prabhupada, he is Nirvisesha Shunyavadi. Especially now, here, when the ingredients and the Prabhupada makes this point again and again that Lord is a person, Lord is a person. Why? To deal with a person is very difficult. We don't want another person in our life. Already in our family, so many are there. We are not able to deal with them. One more person we bring. Person means what? Person means his desires. We have to work with his desires. That is the problem. If new member comes in the family, of course, if they're your own children, they're happy. But after some time, person means what? Person means his desires. That is what is a person. If you have small child born, initially it's okay. But slowly, child is growing. Then he will have demands. I want chocolate. I want this. I want that. And you have to work with for the desires of the child also, right? Now two children, so many desires. If you have five children, how many desires will be there? But Krishna comes in the house, then point is everybody should work for his desire only. That is the problem. That's why we don't want person. We say, Lord, good. We'll keep some deities photos. We'll offer him, close the curtain. And rest of the day is for me only. I don't want to deal with him anymore. I did his offering. I did Aarti. I gave him rest. Two offerings are over. Three offerings are over. Two, three Aartis are over. Whatever you kept. And then I made in Abhishek. I dressed him. I made him take rest. Now, Lord, whole day is mine. I gave you your time. Now let me enjoy. But it is not like that. If a child is there at home, it's 24/7, they have their own things to do. It's small children, you can force them to do, but once they start growing, then you cannot force any desire. They have their own desires. And you are bringing Supreme Lord in the house. How many demands you will? Of course, it's very simple. Patram Pushpam Talanto Vinyas. But what is the most important thing is he need attention. That is what we cannot give because we want to attend to our own needs. That is the reason Prabhupada is telling Lord is a person, Lord is a person. Why he needs attention? We say, I already have so many things to do. How can I give more attention? But Krishna is telling that is the way we become happy. If you pay attention to the person Lord, why Nirvisesha Shunyavade? We don't want to pay attention. That is the offense. While chanting the holy name also, what is the cause of all offenses? We don't want to be attentive. We say, yeah, he is there. I did his service now. I did my bhakti for today. Now let me do whatever I want. No. Bhakti means whole day. Like that. Hope you understood what I wanted to convey. Iti sambrita sambhara purushavayavairaham tam eva purusham yajna tenaiva yajnamishwaram. He says, thus I created the ingredients and paraphernalia for offering sacrifice out of the parts of the body of the Supreme Lord, the enjoyer of sacrifice, and I performed the sacrifice to satisfy the Lord. So all the shlokas are telling about the sacrifice only, such an important thing. As soon as Brahma was born, he started with sacrifices. How important is sacrifice? Any enjoyment starts with sacrifice. Like I want to get a good job. What should I sacrifice? I should sacrifice my enjoyment and time, and I have to sit and study. Then only it is possible. So there is sacrifice. I say, Arey, this fellow didn't work hard, but he is already born in a rich person's. He's already born rich. He's already. That means he has done sacrifice in a previous life. That's all. Either you do now and enjoy in future, and or you do now and enjoy in future life also. Both are possible. But what is important is sacrifice is important. Without payment, we cannot enjoy in this metal world. Payment is there. We can pay for the ingredients, but along with the ingredients, there is payment for the enjoyment also. Say I purchased mango. I paid for the mango, but the pleasure I get by eating mango, that should also be paid. There are two levels of payment. One payment is in a physical level, but there is a payment at metaphysical level. At essential level also there is a payment. And now I am enjoying means I have paid it for my tapasya, some other place. The whole system is like that. And Krishna gave it properly only, and not that you have to work so hard to get some. Little bit of sacrifice, so much of it. That is how it is. They do sacrifices here for what? They want to go to heaven and enjoy. That is the system. People in general, proper nice property. So thus I have created the ingredients and paraphernalia for offering sacrifice unto the parts of the body of Supreme Lord, the enjoyer of sacrifice, and I perform sacrifice to satisfy. So this is what is the purpose. Purpose is nice purpose. He says, people in general are always anxious to have peace of mind or peace in the world, but they do not know how to achieve such a standard of peace in the world. Such peace in the world is obtainable by performances of sacrifices and by practice of austerity. This is the formula. Now, even if people they say I am very peaceful, but if there is unrest in society, he will get affected. But it does not happen with devotees. Whatever happens outside, we should not get affected. If there is a big political crisis, so many things are happening. For devotees, no. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they were preaching when India was under British Raj. They were not affected by political situation. They continued their preaching. That's why they are devotees. Prabhupada was affected. He was Gandhi movement. But after he met Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, he also left it. He said, no. That is not devotee. Devotee means whatever political situation, whatever situation is not. That is the difference. People, they go to some Vipassana yoga, this, that, they attain some peace. But their peace is not long lasting because they will get affected by the external environment. But in our case, we get peace also, we will not get affected by external environment. Why? We attain peace at level of manas, but along with that, we also improve our buddhi. We also improve our intelligence. That's why we don't get affected. If we are not working on improving intelligence, we will get affected. And for us, what is the sacrifice to attain that? Others, they do. This pranayama is also one type of sacrifice. Inward breathe, outward breathe. That is the way to attain peace. Such peace in the world is obtained by performance of sacrifice and by practice of austerities. Anybody, if they go for 1 week and do vipassana, and then so many other things they have. Sudarshana Kriya, that is also sacrifice and austerity. That's why they get peace. But thing is, but they don't have sufficient knowledge. That's why they cannot maintain it. That is the problem for them. For us, we need not go 1 week there. You can sit here every day, hear Bhagavatam, gain knowledge, chant Hare Krishna, you can get many times more peace and happiness from them. And another thing, what is the shloka that is given? Bhoktaram Yajnatapasam Sarvalokamaheshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Gyatvam. Why this shloka is given for peace? Prabhupada is writing here, peace in this world obtained by sacrifice and performance austerity. And how come Gyatvam Shanti Brichati? What is this? This is what we are discussing. When we get knowledge, what is the difference between outside people who are attaining peace and us is? This is the difference. Because we understand Bhoktaram Yajnatapasam Sarvalok Maheshwaram. At the level of buddhi, we have proper understanding. That's why the external situation don't affect our peace. We can still remain peaceful. But for other people who have went and practiced some peace and meditation, for them it won't stay because they don't have this understanding of this shloka. Bhoktaram Yajnatapasam Sarvalok Maheshwaram. At the level of ego also, there actually it's a multiple dimensions we can understand. One level of understanding is that Lord is the doer. This is at the level of ego. Because the devotee has given up his ego, is very peaceful. We are not the doer, we are not the master. So this understanding is very helpful in our attainment of peace. And without peace, there is no happiness. For anybody, it is same thing. If I am peaceful only, then only I can be happy. If I am stable, then I can be little peaceful. If I am told now I'm sitting here, after 2 minutes I am told to sit there, 3 minutes there, 10 minutes there, I'll always be disturbed. But if I'm at one place, I'm peaceful. Okay, I know my prasadam is there and I'm peaceful. I have my things, my place is there, my things are set. So it becomes easy for me to remain happy like that. Now, this is a very important shloka for peace because it is directly helping us to overcome our false ego. Krishna is the Bhoktana. And another thing in understanding of this verse is the struggle for being happy also goes away. Ultimately, Krishna is the enjoyer. What happens is everybody is trying to have a career of God in this world. Everybody is trying to have a career. What is the career? I want to be the Supreme Lord. And what happens is we are not successful. But we see somebody else is becoming successful in having a career of God. That makes us very unhappy. Not that we don't have. Sometimes people are unhappy because they have more than us. How do we know we don't have? It's relative, na? Say I have a house, I have a 2 BHK. I can be happy if there is nothing beyond this. But if I see somebody has a 3 BHK, somebody has a villa, somebody has big mansion, then immediately there is unhappiness. Maybe I am losing some pleasure in this world which that person is experiencing. So that makes a person unhappy and that will make him work very hard to attain what he don't have. If there is nothing beyond this, there is no problem. But it is not like this. Metal world is made in such a way. But if you give up the career of God, then there is no problem. The career of God is what is holding us here. That's what Prabhupada is trying to explain. The Karma Yogis know that the Supreme Lord is the factual enjoyer and maintainer of all sacrifices and the austere life. And they know that Lord is the ultimate proprietor of all planets and is the factual friend of all living entities. Such knowledge gradually converts the Karma Yogis into pure devotees of the Lord through the association of unallowed devotees, and thus they are able to liberate from material bondage. Brahma, the original living being within the material world, taught us the way of sacrifice. The word sacrifice suggests dedication of one's own interest for satisfaction of the second person. So this is the point. That means our happiness in this world, the formula for happiness is wow. My happiness is in pleasing somebody. If I please somebody, even to be materially happy, it works. That's why people, they have this culture. What is the culture of respect? If they worship Guru, they'll be very successful. That was the formula used by Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj served Sukracharya so nicely and very nicely, obediently followed and got blessings of Sukracharya. He went to fight with Indra. Indra, just by seeing the effulgence of Bali, he could not, he ran away. He went to Brahaspati and said, "What should I do?" Brahaspati said, "No problem. Run away from here, go to a resort and be there only. You cannot do anything because you worshipped his Guru." Just worshipping the Guru, Bali Maharaj attained three worlds, material prosperity. He attained he became the king of all the three worlds. That is the power. That is the way of all activities. This is the Vedic way of activity. Every man is engaged in sacrificing his interest for others, either in the form of family, society, community, country, or the entire human society. But the perfection of the sacrifice is attained when they are performed for the sake of Supreme Person, the Lord. Because the Lord is the proprietor of everything, because the Lord is friend of all living creatures, and because He is the maintainer of performance of sacrifice, as well as the supplier of the ingredients of sacrifice, it is He only and no one else who should be satisfied by all sacrifices. That is for us. If we are instead of satisfying Supreme Lord will have sacrifices, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam. All the yajnas were Krishna only. But people do for so many other things. That's why they are not completely happy. It's a very actually this one purport is sufficient. 2 hours discussion. But I will not do that. Don't worry. The whole world is engaged in sacrificing energy for advancement of learning. You see, Prabhupada is so nicely explaining. The whole world is engaged in sacrificing energy for advancing of learning, social upliftment, economic development, and plans for total improvement of the human condition. But no one is interested in sacrificing for the sake of Lord, as it is advised in Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, there is no peace in the world. This is the problem. They are doing it, but they don't know whom to do for. Instead of doing for all this family, I'll sacrifice, society, I'll sacrifice, for country, I'll sacrifice. Forget all these things. If you want to sacrifice, anyway, you are sacrificing. We have to sacrifice for whom? Only for Krishna. That is the point. Prabhupada says that every man is engaged in sacrificing interest for others. Everybody is there, but they are not doing for Supreme Lord. Therefore, there is no peace in the world. If man at all want peace in the world, they must first practice sacrifice in the interest of the Supreme Proprietor and friend of all. People are sacrificing, they don't know. They'll sacrifice their life for their wife, their husband, and then ultimately they end up in nowhere. ततस्ते भ्रातरा इमे प्रज्ञानं पतयो नव अवज्ञवक्तम् अव्यक्तं पुरुषं सुसुमाहिता. My dear son, therefore, your 9 brothers, who are the masters of living creatures, performed the sacrifice with proper rituals to satisfy both the manifested and non-manifested personalities. That means Brahma had 10 sons. One of them is Narada, and he said 9 brothers. They all did sacrifice. From the beginning of creation, Brahma did sacrifice. All the Brahma's 9 sons, of course, 10th, Narada, everybody did sacrifice. The whole system starts like that. And not that if you do sacrifice, you lose. No, they are all gaining only. Bali Maharaj worshipped Guru, he is becoming the king of 3 worlds. And then same thing, for anybody who is doing such great austerities and worshipping, they all get benefit. The manifested personalities are the demigods, like the rulers of the heavenly kingdom. Indra and his associates, and the non-manifested personalities is the Lord himself. The manifested personalities are mundane controllers of the material affairs, whereas the non-manifested personality of Godhead is transcendental beyond the range of material atmosphere. In this age of Kali, the manifested demigods are also not to be seen, for space travel are completely stopped. So both the powerful demigods and the supreme personality of Godhead are non-manifested to the covers of eyes of the modern man. Modern men want to see everything with their eyes, although they are not sufficiently qualified. Consequently, they disbelieve in the existence of the demigods or of the supreme law God. They should see through the pages of authentic scriptures and should not simply believe their unqualified eyes. Even in those days, God can also be seen by qualified eyes tainted with ointment of love of God. So here three things. We have always three levels of existence: physical, metaphysical, spiritual. So now previously at least two were visible in the previous ages, physical and metaphysical. Now that is also not seen. We cannot able to see the demigods. Previously it was possible. Now it became the Kali Yuga people don't have access even that much. But if you develop love, not only demigods, we can see the Supreme Lord also. That's what Prabhupada is saying here. ततश्च मनवत्काले इजिरे रशयो परे पितरो विबुधा दैत्या मनुष्या क्रतुभिविदुम्. This is there after the Manu, the forefathers of the mankind, the great sages, the forefathers, the learned scholars, the daityas, and mankind perform sacrifice meant to please the Supreme Lord. Everybody is doing the same thing. Not only the nine brothers of Narada, the great sages, the forefathers, the learned scholars, daityas, mankind, everybody is doing sacrifice. The daityas are devotees of the demigods, but they want to derive the greatest possible material facilities for them. That is how they are. They are daityas. The devotees of the Lord are ekanishta, are absolutely attached to the devotional service of the Lord. Therefore, they have personally no time to seek the benefits of material facilities. Oh, because of their realization of their spiritual identity, they are more concerned with spiritual emancipation than with material comforts. So here the point, very nice point. Prabhupada is telling that if you do any sacrifice, you get material benefit also. Is it applicable when we worship Supreme Lord Krishna? Yes. When we worship Krishna also, there is material pause. We may get material things. But devotees have no time to enjoy that. Because they are so much interested in doing bhakti and they want to get rid of this material world. They don't have time. And they're not more concerned with they're more concerned with spiritual emancipation than material comforts. नारायणे भगवती तदिदं विश्वमाहितं गृहीतमायोर्पुनः सर्गाद्वौ अघुनस्वतः. All the material manifestation of the universe are therefore situated in his personal material energies, which he accepts self-sufficiently, although he is eternally without affinity for material modes. So we'll just do this, maybe one more bit. The question put by Narada before Brahma. So this is nice verse. All the material manifestations of the universe are therefore situated in his personal, in his powerful material energy. This is all by his energy, which he accepts self-sufficiently, although he is eternally without affinity for material modes. So Lord is not interested in what is happening. He is not interested in material modes. The question put by Narada before Brahma concerning the sustenance of the material creation is thus answered. So he explained how the material creation is situated on the Lord. Beginning from Mahavishnu, all the ingredients of creation and all he explained briefly. Now material reactions, actions and reactions, as the material scientists can superficially observe, are not basically ultimate truth in regard to creation, maintenance and destruction. The material energy is a potency of the Lord which is displayed in time, accepting the three qualities of goodness, passion, ignorance in the form of Vishnu, Brahma and Shiva. The material energy thus works under the supreme will of his lordship, although he is always transcendental to all such material activities. A rich man constructs a big house by spending his energy in the shape of resources and similarly destroys big house by his resources, but the maintenance is always under his personal care. Actually, some people feel Prabhupada is saying the same thing. Prabhupada don't say actually always same thing. He has many things to say. Only thing we have to closely observe what exactly Prabhupada is making that point. Otherwise, it looks same only. But if you very clearly observe, every purport Prabhupada has something unique to say. Of course, some many things he repeated also, but some purports there are very unique things. The Lord is the richest of the rich because he is always fully complete in six opulences. Therefore, he is not required to do anything personally. But everything in the material world is carried out by his wishes and directions. Therefore, the entire material manifestation is situated in Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The impersonal conception of Supreme Truth is due to lack of knowledge. We will do one more. Srijami Tanyukto हरो हरिततद्वशः विश्वं पुरुषरूपेण परिपाटी त्रिशक्तिधृक्. Says by his will I created Lord Shiva. I create Lord Shiva, destroys and himself in his eternal form as the personality of God, it maintains everything. He is the powerful controller of these three energies. The conception of one without a second is clearly confirmed. The one is God Vasudev, and only by his different energies and expansions are different manifestations both in the material and in the spiritual world. So Lord is maintaining everything here. The difference is that the impersonal deny the personality in ultimate issue. As we have heard. Last we'll read here. This is very important. This external energy is also displayed in three modes of goodness, passion, ignorance. Similarly, the internal potency are displayed in the three spiritual modes, Samrit, Sandhini, Ladini. The marginal potency of the living entity is also spiritual. Prakritim Vidhime Para. But the living entities are never equal to Lord. The Lord is Nirasta Sham Atishraya. In other words, no one is greater than or equal to the Supreme Lord. So the living entity, including even such a great personality as Brahma and Shiva, are all subordinates to the Lord. Okay, thank you all very much. We will meet tomorrow.